Hello.
Hello. Is this Hari Krishna?
Yes.
Yeah, hi Hari. Is it okay to call Hari Krishna? So what you prefer?
Hari is fine. Whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like personal preference. So yeah.
Yeah, Hari should be fine. So what is this call
Yeah.
regarding?
So I'm calling from Hitachi. So
Okay. The technical round. Okay, cool.
yeah. Yeah. So I have your resume in front of me. So I can yourself and so what are technical areas that you worked on and what is your core strength and what is your current project?
Yeah, sure. My core strengths, I would say that I'm strong in Python, AWS, shell scripting, and SQL.
Okay.
As part of my current project, I've been working as a data engineer. So I'll explain you on a higher level what we will be doing. So I'm actually maintaining NerdWallet is our client. It's in US. NerdWallet is something like Paisa Bazaar that you see in India, same as that.
What
But
is
there
it? Your voice
Paisa
is
Bazaar,
great.
Policy Bazaar, something like that, right? You'll see
Okay.
the company just like that. There is a company called NerdWallet, but it is operating in USA, multiple locations.
Okay.
So what we do is there are two things basically. NerdWallet will invest in marketing, right? So paid marketing campaigns through a lot of marketing platforms. So we need to optimize their the investment, and then NerdWallet also earns a lot through affiliate marketing. So we'll have to maximize their budget. Their incoming earnings. So as
Okay.
part of that, what we will do is there are different marketing APIs that we will go for, and then for example, if there is a bulk mailing platform, everybody has MailChimp on the hand, right? It's a market leader. So what we would do is, if at all it is sufficing our needs, we'll subscribe to it, we'll get the API, we'll develop our ETLs, develop in the sense not the traditional tools. We'll extract the data from the APIs and then do data modeling for the first time, connect the dots, have your fact tables ready, and then load the data. Extract, transform, and load. We'll be scheduling those jobs using Airbnb platform, which is called as Airflow. It's a scheduling tool. And
now it's open source, right?
yes, Airflow is open source, but you'll have
Initially
to.
download the Airbnb, but yeah.
Yeah, but again, you'll have to pay for server. Yeah. It is developed by Airbnb, but it is open source. Yeah, I agree. So the thing, and we customized Airflow a lot according to our need. Since it is written in Python itself, so we did our monkey patching, and then it meets our needs now. So we have our CI/CD pipeline enabled from our normal GitHub to Jenkins, and then this Airflow connection, and everything is maintained in Docker. So being a guy who is working in startup, I have muddled my hands a lot in DevOps and data engineering as well. So I'm well aware of this CI/CD pipelines, how we achieve about blue-green deployments, attaining high scalability, high availability. So I'm very good at coding in Python. So that's my overall background.
So how you manage scaling EC2? Let's say for example, you have deployed any API or something. So how you will scale it up and how you will make sure that you will get
No. If you are scaling up an EC2, it will be as part of auto scaling groups, and as part of disaster recovery, you'll be having the main exact replica in the other region. But I would not prefer using EC2 at all anymore, because we have something called serverless deployments using Lambda. So if at all you need something sophisticated, only then you'll be using EC2, and again, depends on the categories.
So what are the things that you have developed on Lambda?
A lot actually. So whenever we want to talk with the resources of AWS, we'll be scaling up Lambda. So for example, we have developed in very recent sprint about a chatbot which communicates using Lex and Lambda. So there is no human intervention there. So what will happen is, for example, if you want to, if you have just a use case I'm telling, it's a client demo purpose to showcase. What we have done is, if for example, if you have a vendor system to subscribe for a credit card or to make a payment gateway, we have, let's say NerdWallet can have in future a payment system for credit card All right. So what we do is we just have a chatbot. When we chat with the chatbot, it says hi and hello and replies to whatever the conversation. And if you want to make a payment, it'll ask your PIN, and then it makes the payment accordingly. It will also retrieve the balance of your credit card. We store it the user data in DynamoDB. So the resources will be interactively communicating according to the need.
So,
and then the
what
links
is the
are given.
airflow that you have done there? So, what exactly tag that you created and
Airflow
what are the operations that you
yeah. So Airflow is something related to our ETLs, right? So what we have is our ETLs are not traditional ETLs like Informatica, Talent, or something like that. So what we have is we have a shell script. The shell script will be having minimum 2 or maximum, depends on the number of, how complex the requirement is. So shell script will just invoke other scripts. We have Python for extraction of data, and then we have Python again for transforming the data, or SQL scripts for transforming the data, depending on the need. So
what exactly is transforming, and what is the end result of that? Or any one that you can take?
For example, if I have Google Marketing, so Google have GraphQL to be implemented to extract the data from the API. So that part of it should be included with API authentication that uses OAuth 2.0 mechanism to authenticate to that API. So we'll have that authenticated mechanism, and then extraction of data, and then implementation of the GraphQL in your Python script. Our shell script will validate few factors, and then we'll provoke this script.
So connecting to the GraphQL and getting the data is one operator, and after that?
After that, we'll be getting the data, and we have to load the data into one dummy stage table in Redshift DB. We use copy command for that. Once we let's say sorry.
So in multiple operations that scenario that taking less of a this is depend upon that kind of any complex DAG or something.
Sorry, I did not understand. If you say if your DAG is dependent on some other DAGs or it's complicated, then what you will do? Is that the question?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have upstream dependencies, downstream dependencies, we have time sensors, we have external task sensors. So according to your complexity, you have everything in your Airflow.
Yeah. And I mean, we worked on what exactly that
we worked on. So we have whatever I've told you in the place. So basically how our ETL looks like, the structure I'm saying. So that shell script will be called as an ETL, and then that shell script will be provoked inside the DAG of Airflow.
Okay. So where are this Lambda thing and this thing are invoking, and so what is the exact high-level architecture of this project?
No.
Some of the things are in Lambda. I understand. Okay. I understand. So what I'm asking, so there are some scripts that you have done at Lambda, so there are some scripts that you have done at ETL job, and what is the application overall architecture, kind of thing. So just like end-to-end.
Yeah, sure. If we speak about the production environment that we are having, keeping client demos apart, client POCs apart, what we have is purely data engineering. So this thing I've already told, right? So we have our GitHub repository, and then it is connected to Jenkins. Jenkins has an auto build enabled. When the code is built with Jenkins, it will be pushed to unit test stage, where I will be using PyUnit, and then after unit test cases are done, the code is deployed.
Where exactly it is deployed?
The code is deployed in the production environment. So you will have.
What is that environment?
Sorry?
What is that environment? Is it EC2 or Lambda?
It's EC2.
Okay.
So for data engineering, it is EC2.
Okay. So what is the base thing? It's like completely. So how that?
Can you come back again?
So what exactly that is deployed there? So what is the environment? So what kind of code that is running there? So in general, high level. At
a higher level, when you deploy your code, what it does is it does a daily operations of daily loading or weekly loading of your data, right? So for example, if you want to optimize your campaigns for Google Marketing, let us say, every day some clicks happen.
So I know there is a code is deployed, that code executed, So
Okay.
on what basis that will execute? What is the server for it? Is it a web-based thing or is it a scheduling thing or what?
It's a
What
scheduling
exactly?
thing, not a web-based
Okay.
thing. It's
Okay.
purely into data side. So we were here
Okay.
to take the decisions and on select the campaigns which are performing well, which are not
So
performing.
this is managed by the Airflow on
Yeah,
EC2.
yeah.
Okay. So Airflow itself is an, I think it's an web-based thing, right? So it uses Flask and it has some database and all those things.
It's not a web-based thing.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a
So how
ETL step and
Airflow is?
all that. Oh, Airflow is a web-based thing. Okay, I'm actually not getting your point. So Airflow is having an interface. It's a
So
web-based
that's what
link.
there is a. So you will create a DAX. I mean, as per my understanding, there is a fixed kind of DAX. So there is
Yeah.
no, I mean, dynamic DAX that you create based upon that, let's say, based upon input or something. You'll create a DAX config on the fly and you will create a DAX. Not that case,
No, no,
right?
no, no. DAGs are almost stagnant, but very few DAGs will be having a separate setup where we are trying to create a virtual environment dynamically, and then DAG will come up at that point of time when the DAG is provoked due to some time
No.
sensor or external DAG sensor, and then it will do the job and it will be discarded.
So the code has to be there. And so what is the configuration that you have done for Airflow and how you enable that Airflow? And so is it should be running on some port? What is the port that you have enabled?
Celery.
And
Okay, port. Fine. So Airflow is something which is already established when I am into the setup, but as per my understanding is concerned, I mean, as per my knowledge, I'll be telling you. So
Mhm.
whenever you have an IP for a resource that you need to integrate with AWS, we can do it using CloudFront, right? So
Okay.
with CloudFront, a CDN setup, we'll have this tagged up, and then we'll apply for either an internal domaining system like subdomain at nerd with something else .nerdwallet.com, or you can have your own IP for your resource. So that's how you scale your Airflow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. So it's like this call is regarding to understand what is the technical depth that you have and what is the project that you work on, and
Okay.
to discuss more about the problem solving and the approach and the designing capabilities. So this is all about. Just like I'm just drilling down what exactly it is, why exactly it is like that. But this is like it's so
Okay.
that's the reason I'm just drilling down into much more minute details. It's not about the technical implementation. It's about the design, what exactly the architecture and all. So
Okay.
yeah. So yeah. So since you said that you have used Lambda for building the and also you have used Lambda for writing the RESTful APIs. So what are the RESTful APIs that you have developed and what is the how you deployed there and how exactly it is working and so how you manage the security there?
Okay. Let me correct your understanding here. We did not develop a RESTful API using Lambda. We cannot do that. I mean,
No.
we will not do that. So we can have our separate setup for that, and then we can use Flask for that. But we did not have the need to develop. What we do is 80% of the APIs that we connect, we only use GET request to extract the data
No.
and then transform the data and load the data, right? So
Mhm.
that's the standard setup according, I mean, related to data engineering. But
Mhm.
as part of the Lambda is concerned, what we have done is it's like it communicates with API gateway. Let's say, for example, if you have your source system at Salesforce, you'll get the
Mhm.
data from that, and then you can patch it up with API gateway with one of the endpoints, and then you can, whenever you get the data into this API gateway, whenever a hit happens, like put request or something, Lambda will just invoke like that. And we also have S3 bucket. There is an option to invoke Lambda. We also have that enabled. Whenever source team uploads something, a file,
Mhm.
basically we
Mhm.
have a condition to whenever a file with an suffix dot xlsx is uploaded into that
Yeah.
bucket, we will invoke that
Basically, you'll create
Lambda
an
function.
event that will get
Yeah,
executed.
so that kind of setup we have established, and we use a lot of both or three to communicate with the resources and achieve whatever we are in need of. And regarding the security, yes, if at all the code that we have written, right, if it is communicating with the sensitive resources and DynamoDB, etc., we'll be enabling it that VPC option in the private subnets when you are
Okay.
writing your Lambda.
Okay. So what is REST API? Why is REST API? What are the services?
I'm sorry, what is REST API? Is that your question?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. There are two kinds of API platforms that were famous in the market, right? So one is REST and one is SOAP. SOAP is the starting point of APIs, but then REST has overcome this. So the main difference is you can do whatever you wish to in design perspective. You can have your own set of guidelines, but the core point is you can decide your own way of endpoints, URL parameters, do whatever you wish, but achieving this get, put, delete, all these six types of requests.
Mm-hmm.
And it is
Apart from that,
flexible. And it's a flexible platform. So, for example, one of the use cases previously used to have a database, and then database used to interact with your web server for submitting forms and getting the data and all. But now we have a middleware interface where you'll be whenever you submit a form, it will connect to your API, and then API will fetch the data into your database. That's a third layer. Yeah, that's a three-tier platform that we have with the introduction of these APIs, right? So that's where your REST API comes into picture to securely populate the data.
same things. What are the things that we discussed? We can also achieve through that SOAP also. I mean, here and there some configuration of some extra code we need to write, but we can achieve the same thing through the SOAP also. So what is the main selling point for REST API?
No, when you are about to write in SOAP, it should be XML format and it should follow perfect DOM model, right? So for REST API, you can do in any format of your, I mean, in your own format. You can represent your JSON data, you can represent your text data, so whatever it is, right? So just connect to your
Apart from
Postman or
this one,
something else.
let's say for example, if I want to write our own format, what are things that we need to take?
If you want to write your own API, what are the needs? What do you need to take care, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for example, I've written REST API in Flask. So what nothing I need to do. So I just need to declare the functions that I need to import.
I understand there is a return type as in JSON. Okay, so you are sending a JSON. Apart from that, if you want to send your own other than JSON,
you can do that.
So how that things that are happening and what are things that will take care?
No. Input of this Flask for this REST API can be an array or a dictionary or any other thing, but you can convert into a dictionary and then put a endpoint and redirect that. There's something called @route. It's a decorator available by default in Flask that will do the job for you.
I mean, I'm talking about the response.
Oh, you're saying if you want the response in TXT format or CSV format, something like that?
Yeah.
By default, it will be JSON if we have a dictionary enabled, but this thing I need to check. Because whenever I did it, it's just JSON response I've been getting. Yeah.
As I already said, it's like kind of thing that we need to have a sort of thing. So good. So how good you are at Python on scale of 0 to 10?
Scale of 10, I would say 8.5 to 9.
So how Python manages memory?
How Python manages memory? In the sense, okay, so it's a dynamic program, right? So for example, if you have, I'm not sure if I am catching you correctly, but let me try. So if you declare
to understand your technical capabilities and
got it.
Just kind of overall, you can feel free to disagree with me. You can feel free to had a kind of discussion. It's not like I'm interviewing you and you have to say answer. It's not like that. You can give whatever the things that you want, and I can pick up something from there and we can discuss on that. It's like technical discussion, not interview.
Yeah, sure. No, the thing is, you're asking a vague question without any clarity. So, what is the memory? What about this city? So, if I have to tell, I have to tell about that city? So, I'll tell you what.
You can give whatever the information that you have. You can start with the basic thing and how it creates the variable and how it manages, when it will deallocate, and what basis it can deallocate. We have a lot to talk.
Yes.
Seriously.
Okay. Let me start then. So if you declare a variable a is equal to 2, if you declare another variable c is equal to 2, both points are the same ID, which means that it's like a space memory optimization. So it operates like a linked list, but not a linked list when you're declaring a variable. So there are minor changes. So it's by default a dynamic allocation. When you say dynamic allocation, it's into heap. So
Mm-hmm.
what will happen is it's a layer-wise memory that you have, not a
Mm-hmm.
sequential memory like stack.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever you have your variables created, it will not be killed at all till till your interpreter is switched off, and when you restart it again, that's where it will be cleaning up process will start. But if you want to clean your variables, you can have your operator called del to clean
Mm-hmm.
wipe off your variables. But then if you declare a is equal to 2, and again uh, you can if you are declaring
What
a is
happens,
equal to
let's
something
say
else,
A equal to 2 and B equal to 2, what happens at this time? So
I
what
told you
is
right,
the
id
state
will
of
be the
that
same.
memory? Okay, so on what basis? So why it is being the same ID?
See, it's about object, not just a variable. Object is getting an ID attached. It's like a linked list. The link is
That's what.
forming between ID and a variable, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you
Mm-hmm.
declare a is equal to 2, an ID is created with a value 2, and you are attaching a pointer, let's say pointer kind of a thing called as an object, which
Mm-hmm.
here in our case a. So when you declare some c is equal to 2, it will first check in the heap if id is already there. I mean, it is referring to 2. If it is already there, that c will be attached to the same id.
Mm-hmm.
I think that makes sense, right?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But on what, how it is happening? Why it is happening?
Okay. Why it is happening in this? That's how it is orchestrated. So as I've told you, right, everything is an object in Python. Object will have, in sense, it's a class. When you say type of a, it will be class integer if you are in Python 3,
So it is
right?
creating value for the value, right? So initially it is creating address for value, not an, and then it is creating an object and it is giving the
It
pointer.
will be
It
mapped to
kind
that
of,
address.
yeah, so
Hmm.
it kind of mapping is happening.
Yes.
So it manages over the heap, not on the
Huh.
linked list or something. It's kind of heap that we can consider as part of
Yes.
the list.
But then
I
the
just want to get clarity on.
working is similar to linked list, but not linked list at all. That's what I told you in the beginning.
Yeah, that's what, it's not at all linked list. That's a
Uh,
mapping kind of thing. Yes, they happen
yeah.
also. Yeah.
No, by
Linked list is
understanding wise, I'm just trying to correlate, and I told you already
yeah,
it's
it's
not.
like reference you can talk about.
Huh,
You
yes.
can give that reference kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But whereas as you said that there is an use the same ID. But have you ever tried the same ID on the float in Windows Mission?
On the float in Windows Mission. Yes, I tried it.
Yeah. Have you?
Same thing happened.
Will it give the same address for the
Yes.
A and B? If it is
For
a float
float,
2.0, 2.0?
for string it gave. For float also it should give, I think so. For string I'm sure, but not for float.
Yeah, for string or integer that's fine, but the float is little different.
I'm not sure. I'll have to dig into it.
So okay, for string also it will do the same thing. A equal to high and B equal to high.
See,
So will
string,
it give the same?
integer, float are immutable, right? So I think it should be the same for 3.
Okay.
I'm not sure. But yeah, if it is immutable, it should be like that only.
Okay. So just try it out. Just
Okay,
saying.
fine.
Yeah. So okay. So what is GIL in Python?
It's a global interpretation log. That is kind of a problem that you get when you are trying to work with multi-threading. That's why we suggest multi-processing. But again, it's not an issue at all. It's an issue where if your code is making use of threads that are created for internal consumption and also threads that are going for external processing, right? I mean, for example, if you're creating 4 threads in your program, so that thread will not wait for another thread, right? So it will
Why
execute.
it is not waiting?
That's called multi-threading,
I know
right?
there is a GIL is there. That's
Yeah.
how it is implemented. But why it is there?
See, it is
But
from
why,
C language.
I mean,
They have
they
taken
can
it.
also get rid of, right? Since they
No,
have
no, no,
implemented
no.
such a beautiful
Yeah,
language.
got it. So GIL is inherited from C language. They wanted to take it out, but when they take this GIL out of the context of Python, speed or some performance they were not able to do it. There are
For
certain
C, there is no threading. So there is nothing to do with C.
no C or C++.
You can
I
implement
don't
anything.
remember. No. This GIL
Yeah,
is
C
inherited
Python, I
from.
understand. You are halfway correct. So C, based upon its C Python, so we might mostly use 85% we use C Python.
Yeah.
There are multiple versions of Python,
Yes.
but we are not using
Python, Jython, C Python we have.
Yeah, PyPython. PyPython is a GAL free. That's a different story.
Okay.
But why C Python? Even though C is not having any object-oriented concepts or threading, multiprocessing and all, it's a core low-level layer programming language. We are creating a dynamic language or advanced language or any other language. So top layer, application layer programming languages. It's a C is like it can work on driver level, network level, or hardware level. But Python or these things are like kind of application layer level, and there are several levels. So, but why they are using GIL? On what basis? And why C Python has to use GIL?
No, I have read a lot about this thing also. What it is told is, in the beginning we had...
Still not.
Okay, fine.
That's the reason I'm getting clarity from you.
Okay, what I have read is, so GIL is just as an option they implemented in the beginning. It is adopted from C++, I guess. So...
C++ don't have GIL.
No, it is. Okay, fine, whatever. So C or C++, I'm not sure. They have inherited from that language itself, for sure.
Forget about GIL is different thing. So it's not part of C or C++.
Okay, fine.
Sure.
Okay, fine. So they got it, but they wanted to remove it because it is causing interpretation lock issues. But they did not do it till now because they have few performance bugs for already implemented setup in Python. So they did not want to mess or meddle with that. Even if you see bugs.python.org, there are a lot of issues that is going on when they are
That's about bugs. That's about bugs. That kind of corner case, bottleneck case. But while the implementation itself, why they choose GIL is an why it is creating bugs? Okay, to get you into the correct question. So why it is creating bugs? I know they can remove it, but they are not removing it.
They will not remove it. Yeah.
Yeah, but why the bugs are coming and what basis?
On what basis? I'm not sure into that level of thing.
I mean, it's a mutex actually. So to quickly clarify, it's a mutex. So since Python work on different interpreter and different levels of interpreters, so each and every interpreter is a Python thread. Okay. So let's say, for example, we can start with Python multiple command lines, and we can use Python for different things, right?
Yeah.
So let's say, for example, it's a mutex. So let's say thread is started, so it won't allow other resources to access the same memory. So it will kind of create a lock for that.
Yes.
Since it is this thread or this interpreter having separate instance of memory. Okay. But thread will create a process level. The process have access to everything. You got it?
Yes. One process will have multiple threads, and the process will have access to everything.
Yeah. So the thread can communicate to the memory, right? So the memory might different than this. So there is some conflict is going on with that memory and the process level.
Oh, okay.
So it locks that memory first of all.
Okay.
So it is locking the resources, so it won't allow other resources to access it.
Okay.
So that's the reason since it is this is also a thread, the interpreter that what you have started, that is also a thread. So that won't allow other thread to access this particular resources or even the same resource. So it is restricting the top level. So it obviously low level also it is restricted.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Just like give clarity. I mean, this is what I have concluded from last 8-9 years. So still there is a lot to know. So Python is an interpreter language or compile language?
The way Python executes the code is it's interpreter, but it compiles the code into compiled Python files and PIO files. So it's both actually.
Okay, implicit interpreter and explicit compiler.
Yeah, whatever you can call it as.
At least good that with level of experience you are talking at this line. So that's good actually.
Okay.
So what is the main thing that is in 2.7 and 3? So what is the main difference and why they have? What are the difference and why?
Main difference, I'm not sure that will that be a main difference, but I'll tell you.
Function or generators?
No, everything is implemented as an object in Python 3, but it's not in Python 2.
That is on 2.7 also. Everything is an object.
Yeah. What's your question? Difference between 3 and 2,
What
right?
are the 2.7 and 3?
Yeah, in 2 it's not object, right? 2.7.
Why? What is not object?
I mean, everything is not implemented as an object.
So what? So everything is okay.
I mean, the
Consider
data
one,
type.
and you can data type is an object.
If you see
Every data type is an object.
type of int, it will not give you a class. They are not implemented as class objects.
So that means if you can
And
subtract
then
object into the type, you will get as a true. Each instance of object into type, you will get as a true.
okay, fine, whatever. So one of the differences I will tell you, the concept of generators, right? X range, range, and all.
That's okay.
Yeah, they were.
I know that you're doing those things. That's the reason I'm drilling now. Since you're at very good level, so I just want to understand, or I just want to question that other points as well.
Okay. So you need more differences from 2.7 explicitly with 3, right?
So you're exactly in right area that what we are having the discussion on objects.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
everything is an object here and there, but the representation of object is different. So when you ask for there is a each instance of type comma object will get it true, and class comma type will get it true, and class comma object also get it true. So that means there is no substance of superclass. So you'll get everything is true. So there is a same level, class, object, and type. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So now they want to create an object as a top level, and they are segregated into different levels. The representation of the object is little different.
Okay,
So,
but
and the display thing is different. Let's say, for example, that is a kind of class str. So they can use type or class or Krishna, Hari, whatever you want. You can put that.
okay.
That actually the name of that object is different. The projection is, but the hierarchy of the class got changed.
So what about Python 2.5, 2.4?
So there are a lot of implementations, right, in 2.4 and 2.7.
No,
so
the main reason why we have Python 3 is we cannot implement all this in object level because it will not. We cannot work with Python 2 code if you implement that. That's why they have.
That's why they made object as a superclass. So you'll have access to all the. So there is a series. So you can build down. So there is a type. Type is also at super level. Object is also super level, and this is also super level. So okay, can you come? I'll come to other question. So in 2.7, there is a difference between okay. If you observe or not, so there is a 2.7. There is a class inherited class. I mean object inherited class and normal class. So what is the difference between that class and object inherited class?
I'm confused. Can you ask the question again? There is a class?
There is a class,
okay,
and which is inheriting the object. So
inheriting the object, okay.
Yeah, in brackets there is an object. And there is another class, whole type class, which is not inheriting an object. It just have the class name, right?
An independent class, okay.
Yeah, independent class. So I mean, both classes are having implemented. I mean, I have created two classes which is having the same properties and methods. But what is the main difference? That class could get if it
method resolution order. When you have
method resolution order is changed in 3. It's same in 2.7 in the both classes.
Okay.
Okay, method resolution order in the sense what? What methods?
I mean the way this class is getting accessed, right? So if you are looking for a certain method, so the method resolution order is the order through which it will search the elements. I mean, for example, if you are trying to access
I don't have any inheritance, right? The two independent classes, and that is only one level, so which is not inherited from anything. So one class is inherited from object. That's from object. But what is the extra thing? So that So if it is inherited means it will get extra things, right? What is the extra thing that it will get?
Whatever the properties of that object, you will be getting.
Okay. To be discussed. So if you implemented let's say dynamic problem or something in the 2.7 in both classes, the method resolution order is same. Okay. That is clear. But what is the extra method that you will get? Why you need to use that object as inherit?
No idea.
Okay. So you'll get extra access to the like new call class. There are
underscore
so
call
those
underscore
methods,
underscore to implement the decorator. So
yeah,
all those methods will be making use of because they are available in object. That's what those properties will be available.
yeah. In Python
Mhm.
3, even though if it is not old type class, so which will have access
Oh,
to underscore new and all.
okay. So in Python 2, we'll have to inherit a object that I know, but in Python 3, you don't have to do that.
We don't have to do that. If you want
Uh-huh.
to override those things, okay,
Okay.
okay, it's kind of class. Python 3 is good.
No, actually,
Okay,
our production setup has only Python 2 version. So I normally used to do that inheriting object. So I am not
yeah.
aware of this.
But since you said there is a lot of fundamental difference between 2.7 and that thing. So there is
Uh-huh.
a representation is changed.
Okay.
That accessibility is changed. That hierarchy is changed. That's the reason. The
Mhm.
representation is like kind of print statement that is giving us, right?
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But the hierarchy got changed. So now you have access to that object class,
Mhm.
which is even the type class is also inherited from that.
Okay.
So the type class can be inherited by the dict, int, list, anything. So type is a superclass for all the data types,
Okay.
right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the object is a superclass for type.
Ha. Got it.
Got it? So now
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have access to those things, and then you
For
can.
everything, yes.
Previously, there is some little kind of thing that you cannot override those classes. Now you can have access to override those classes.
Okay.
If you want to override, you will be overriding subclassing, and then you are overriding that subclass. So this is how it is. So yeah. So where are we? So
That's actually a good learning
yeah,
for me. Thank you.
yeah, that's okay. Anyway, I learned something from you after you learned. It should be some discussion, it should not be interview.
Yeah.
That's the reason I'm asking what is the use case, what is the implementation, why you implemented, why you took that. So
Okay.
that's how it kind of evaluates. It's not like if I pass one parameter, if I didn't pass parameter, what will happen? It's not like that.
Yeah, yeah.
It should not be that case, right? So
At the core
it's like
level, you
to
have to be
understand
strong.
that,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like what is the understanding, design capabilities, and this thing that we need to evaluate.
Yeah.
So, good man. What is context manager in Python?
Context manager is like with command you'll be saying. I mean, you'll have an added advantage. So, for example, you'll be using in common for opening your files. You don't have to automatically close them because your context manager will already take care of that.
So, what all methods are taking care? Let's say with have you used with?
Yeah.
So, how it is managing that?
It depends on the implementation, how you implement your context manager. It again uses some object. That's another dunder available there. I'm not sure about what the exact name is, but it will.
Can we create our own custom
Yes.
context managers?
We can.
So, what are methods that we need to use?
That's what I'm saying. The method that is responsible for auto closing that, I'm not aware of that name.
So underscore enter and underscore exit.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So what is decorator in Python?
Which decorator? It's just like a design pattern, right? So decorator, it decorates the functionality. So for example, if you want to log something, if you want to keep track of time, you will have these decorators available in the code. Not only that, if you want to make sure that some condition is not, if you want to make sure some condition is met, only then the function should be.
Decorator?
Again, the implementation has two types. You can implement the decorator using classes. You can also implement the decorator using this traditional way, like making use of the first class functions, right? So a nested function.
What is the class with decorator? What are methods that I need to override?
It's not like overriding. There are two methods you will have. One is you just declare a class and the decorator name, and then in that initialize a function, and then you can have call method. It will be
underscore call. So what is call method there?
I think what it will do is okay, fine. So how I implemented, I'll tell you. I know about this class implementation, but in traditional without class, I implemented it. So I'll just define a function.
Without class, okay.
Yeah, I mean, again, I have to take care of this names of dunders. That's why I'm not going to class now. I mean, it's been a while. So how I implement is, for example, def space some outer function. I'll declare a decorator, which is inside that a wrapper function, and this decorate outer function is there, right? will pass a function to that. I mean, to whatever the person function you want to apply this decorator. And inside this wrapper function, will be passing args and keyword args so that it can be applied for every function. And then do your logic. And then, I mean, let's say if you are implementing timer, start your timer and then execute this function, whatever you are passing inside with arguments. And then end your timer, print your time, and then in return statement, you'll call this function.
Okay.
Like that. So that's a traditional way, but again, you can simply implement it without any logic using just that render. I think it is call underscore call only, and that call will have args and keyword args. Same thing again.
Yeah.
Return. Yeah.
Okay. So that's it, Harry, from my end. So do you have any other questions?
Okay. No, I just wanted to know if at all things go well, what will be the role?
No, what you are thinking, it's pretty went for me. So we have, I mean, with this experience, we have got so much into data engineering and ETL and AWS, and as well as Python, but not definitely 9.5.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's our own thing. It's like kind of evaluation skills.
Okay.
So still, so I mean, you're good. So don't worry about all those things.
Okay. I worry only about two things. One thing which I'm looking for is, it doesn't matter what I know. When I'm entering a setup, I should know new things. So I got a confidence after seeing you that if you are there in the project, I can know things. I mean, apart from what I know, I can know better. But then I also wanted to know about the setup we are working on, because if it is like a traditional MNC, go there and copy paste programs, then sorry, I'm not for it. That's what.
Actually, it's kind of one kind of good product-based company that we are working with. So we have data engineering, but not necessarily that sophisticated Airflow or DAX or orchestration that we are using. So we have Lambdas, S3, and data pipelines and different architecture that we are following. So yeah. So we have similar kind of transformation we are doing, but we have different levels of transformation. So for that we are using different tools and different lambdas and kind of things that we are using. So
okay, what is our end goal? So it's like a product that we are maintaining?
Yeah, not exactly maintaining. It's a continuous development thing that we are going, and there are a lot of phases that are there.
So are we going to give follow up with an offshore team or something like that?
Yeah. Team. We are closely working with that cloud-based company. What are the clients? So client engineering team.
Oh, we have separate clients then. Ours is not a product.
Yeah. So ours is not product. We have a client. The client is having a very good product.
We'll be developing that product, right?
Yeah, we are working on part of on the product. We are working with the engineering team as an extended engineering team. Along with their engineering team, that company. So they are also working along with us, and we are also working. We are taking care of offshore, and they are taking care of onsite. So they will pass on requirements and all those things. Then we are working with them.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. So if at all things go well, I mean, after joining after 6 months or something, can we expect some on-site opportunities, like some trips or something?
Yeah, this project. I mean, I'm not sure. Then there are different levels of things are there. But yeah, so everyone in this project has traveled previously.
Cool.
And now it depends upon that visa things. And do you have any visa? Or?
Oh, it's US project then?
Yeah, it's US project.
Okay, I don't have any visa.
Any other visas that you have?
No. I'm just, I've given my IELTS exam, that's it, very recent. I'm waiting for the result.
Okay. So that's it, man.
Okay.
I mean, this project has a lot of, even that whoever went to onset, they have converted to that their full-time that project.
Okay.
So
sounds good.
The iteration is very good there. So client is very good, and you'll be found to know that company and all those things. It's a very good gaming company.
Wow. Okay. I never worked in gaming domain, so it'll be exciting. I guess
it's not about gaming. It's like kind of at the end we need to generate the revenue. So we have different platforms. We need to get the data, and we need to understand what is the revenue over the state or over the kind of region kind of things. So on different kind of platforms. So they have different platforms and they different products, and different products how they have got the revenue and all.
Okay.
So that's it.
Okay. Sure. I'll be just waiting for the next process then.
Yeah, sure.
It was
Any
nice
other
talking to you.
questions?
No, not for now.
Yeah. Good. All right. Yeah. Okay,
Thank
man.
you so much.
Thanks, sir. Thanks
Yeah,
for the
bye.
All right, bye.
It's caught in the crossfire.